I have a joke at the gym, like after a tough workout, I'm going to check for abs later.
That's awesome.
I've been checking for 2.5 years now, so maybe another 6 months, we'll see.
Keep coming back.
Yeah. They say abs are made in the winter, so I just have to work harder in the winter. Hello and welcome to America's Healthiest City, a Channel RVA production. We are here at West Broad Studios today with Aubrey Eicher, the founder and owner of The Well Personal Fitness, and we're going to get into that conversation in a minute. But if you're new to America's Healthiest City, this is a 10-year community partnership to make all of the region of Richmond the healthiest in America by 2033. It is an effort that we have to do together. We have to find ways to move in the same direction at the same time. And that takes everybody. It takes citizens, it takes the government, it takes academic institutions, it takes nonprofits, it takes businesses. And so we are working with all of those institutions to tell the stories of leaders who are making a difference in the broader health of our community. So please check out americashealthiestcity.com to learn how you can get involved. You can either submit an idea to our ideas board right on the website, or you can learn how you can become an ambassador and help us carry this message forward and spread the wealth of health around the community of RVA. So without further ado, we will get into it. And Aubrey, thank you so much for getting in here with us. I'm excited to have this conversation.
Yeah.
3 years ago, I would have told you you're crazy if I learned that I'd be going to the gym every day. But this show has changed my life. This show has brought people to me who've questioned my choices about fitness and health and the things that I do to stay healthy. And so I will be honest, and I'll give you a chance to introduce yourself here. When I first started this program, I was like, I don't want a bunch of fitness people because there's a lot of people, I think, who like myself, who are like, oh, going to the gym isn't what it's about. It's like the social determinants of health and all this other stuff. But I'm learning so much about the power of physical transformation. And that's what I hope to talk to you about today, because I know you have such an intimate relationship with your clients. But yeah, thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Even, just from walking in outside and hearing about you going to the gym, this morning, it's like I was out there doing the same thing. And it's not, it's not a 24/7 thing like living in the gym, but it's part of the life, and taking care of ourselves. So that's really exciting.
Yeah, I think for me, it's like, well, I'm not a gym rat. I can't see myself as a gym rat. And I'll say something. We talk more about personal training soon, but I have been somebody who's gone to classes, and I've been somebody who's gone to a personal trainer. And part of the reason I went to a personal trainer when I did was because I didn't want other people looking at me at the gym, because I didn't feel confident in what I was doing. I didn't know how to use the equipment. Mm-hmm. And that made it all so much easier. But I want to start this interview with the same question that I ask everybody. I know you're not from Richmond, so tell us, where are you from and what brought you to this lovely city?
Yeah, so I am originally from Western Pennsylvania. It's a small town about 45 minutes outside of Pittsburgh. Okay. So not a whole lot going on there. Wound up moving to Richmond for the first time in 2002. My dad wound up landing here for a job. And so I was moving back and forth. Part of my family is still in Pennsylvania. Part of my family was still here. Wound up moving, and then I kind of became an island after a while. And so there's a couple of things. Like the weather in Western Pennsylvania, there's something to be said for it. Is they have one more cloudy day per year than Seattle. Which is depressing to talk about healthy cities. If you don't get sunlight, you're probably not very happy. So I definitely appreciate our weather a lot more, especially now. It's it's June. The sun is bright outside. The sun gets up early. It sets late. There's a lot of daylight to do a lot of fun, good things with. So I love the summertime here. There's lots to do in Richmond.
Well, my wife went to Bucknell for her undergrad, so she spent some time in Pennsylvania, and it's a big state. But we've got it all here. We have the mountains, we have the ocean, and 95.
Then there's that.
Yeah,
DC.
So, yeah, we can get to things. So,
Mm-hmm.
So tell me a little bit more about your time here in Richmond. You've been here for 18 years. I know you started a business, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But I'm always curious to know what it is about this city that people love, and how they use it as an outlet for all the things that they need to do in their lives, whether it's making a living or having a social life or being their best selves. So what about Richmond do you love the most?
Yeah. So I was thinking about this some this morning, and I'm really grateful and there's another word there that I'm looking for, but like just grateful that so much of my life ties together. So like, yes, I work in fitness, but I also like, I love moving my body. And one of the things that really tied me in to Richmond and like made my experience very rich was training for my first marathon. This was back in 2012. So I got into running. So like me as a kid, like I didn't do sports when I was growing up. I just really didn't get the opportunity. I probably would have been good. Like I was competitive. I have a competitive spirit, but I just didn't get the opportunity for this reason, that reason. And after high school, I started working out. I had a partner that was really into bodybuilding, and I was a tomboy, so I liked the weights. And, a couple of years later, wound up doing my first 5K outside. It was at Pony Pasture. And this was a point where, like, at the gym, I had gotten kind of obsessive with, like, wanting to accomplish, like, feeling good in my skin. That was my main goal. Like, I was like, I want to wear whatever and not have to think about it, not have to worry about it, not be self-conscious, like, just not have to deal with that. And I was spinning my wheels. To look back at it today, like, I was spinning my wheels on it. And that was for other various reasons. I had some stuff within the two, walls of my head to work on. But I could run like 10 miles on the treadmill, which I look at that and I'm like, I wouldn't want to do that today. Like, seriously. And I signed up for this 5K outside, and it was the thick of summer. It was like the end of July. And, it's right along the river. It's Pony Pasture, and it's like the morning. So like the humidity is like 100%.
Mm-hmm.
You're just like swimming. And I had to walk 3 times, and I was just like miffed by that. Like, what? I can run 10 miles on the treadmill. Like, why? And there were a lot of factors that went into that, like pacing and the weather and, all of that kind of stuff. But it really got me intrigued and gave me kind of like a carrot of sorts to like work towards, like, oh, well, I'm making friends now in this like running community, which is huge in Richmond.
Yeah. There's a bunch of run clubs.
There's a bunch of run clubs. And so
I haven't been to one of them. There's a few of them that go to my gym, so I see them, and I'll see them run. I'll be in the bar, and they'll run into the bar and grab a drink. I don't know what they're doing. They do these bar crawl runs. Different groups for different folks.
There are, yes. You got like the super serious people who are like, we're qualifying for the Boston Marathon, and then like we're gonna have a beer in the middle of our 5K kind of thing. Yeah. But yeah, so there's an 8K in the fall. And so like I just kind of progressively worked up from there and made more friends in different running groups. And I remember like 2011 doing the half marathon in November, Richmond half marathon. And I had friends that did the full that year, and they finished. I finished sometime before them because it was a half versus a full, and then like I finished and I was like, that was really cool. And then like they're telling me about their race, and I'm like, I got to do that next year. So it really like shaped my experience of Richmond, running outside, running the streets. Like there's so many experiences that I have from that. So that's a huge part of it for me.
We got to interview Rob Mazzanti last year, who is the winner of the Richmond Marathon 2 years, or not this past marathon, but a year before. And I should have had him come in and do this interview with you. You had so much cool to talk about.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So just a curious question: do you happen to be in the 9th year of a decade when you ran your first marathon?
The 9th year of a decade.
Like 29, 39?
No.
Okay.
I was 24.
Okay. So there's a psychological thing. A lot of people run their first marathon in the 9th year of a decade.
That tracks. Yeah.
So
like, oh, I'm going to turn a leaf. Let me do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't have a motivation to do that in the 9th year of any of my decades so far. Maybe the next one, I got a ways to go. But so did you ran the Richmond Marathon? Was that the race that you ran?
Yeah.
How did you feel? How did you do? Were you happy with your performance?
I was.
Did you run it again after that?
I did. Yeah. I've done this year. I'm doing Richmond.
Okay.
I'm signed up for the Richmond Marathon. So the group that I trained with in 2012 is the same group that I'll train with this summer. They call it summer camp, but it's marathon training team. It's through Sports Backers.
Oh, lovely.
And they're so fun. I did well on that first one, and it motivated me to the point where like I was within 10 minutes of my Boston qualifying time. And so that competitiveness within me came out, and I said, well, I'm going to do that. And so that kind of started this whole process of like me chasing that. I did like 4 more marathons and then like a couple of triathlons. I was going through a relationship transition at the time. So it was like it became my therapy too. Like it was a really good outlet in terms of like all of the outlets that I could have chosen to have like a quarter life crisis, if you will. It was a good one. And, but I burnt myself out by like 2015 and was like, okay, I'm not going to run this marathon to feed my family. I'm not going to win it. Right. So I enjoy them. Like, where can I just find the happy place and take care of myself? And that was like, I think that was really where like my mindset of fitness started to shift. Like I was really seeing like within that time frame too, like was also whenever I wound up starting my business. And that was because I saw that there were so many more benefits than just the physical to fitness. It was mental, it was emotional. It was like, you could verbal vomit, on a long run and nobody's going to remember, because we're all out there struggling through it as well. But you feel like a champ at the end of it. And so like all of that, like dopamine and all the good hormones, like just feeling good at the end of an exercise session, like, oh, wow, cool. And like, probably boosted my longevity. So like, not just longevity, but like health span too. So
yeah. Well, I
all of
love
those
the
things.
social aspects of it. I think there's so much we could talk about there, and we will. I do need to take a quick break for our sponsors, but we'll come back and talk a little bit more since you mentioned your business. Great transition. If you want to own the internet in your domain on search and in AI search, you need a team that wrote the playbook on how to land on top. At Exponent 21, we help businesses dominate search rankings, drive traffic, and convert visitors into loyal customers. In the world of AI, it pays to be number one. You are number one. Make sure the world knows it. Go to exponent21.com and get a free multi-page SEO report when you mention America's Healthiest City. Welcome back to America's Healthiest City. I am your host, Will Melton, and this is a Channel RV production. Today, we're in the West Broad Studios with Aubrey Eicher, the founder and owner of The Well Personal Fitness. We don't have a table here for her to kick me under, so if I've said her name wrong, she's going to say it here on the show. That did happen one time, 3 times before I got kicked. But anyhow, if you're new to this program, please visit americashealthiestcity.com to learn more about how we are making Richmond the healthiest city in America by 2033 with this grassroots community effort. You can get involved in small ways. You can share ideas. You can get involved in big ways. And there are lots of people here in Richmond who are making a difference, and we're here to tell their stories. So, Aubrey, thank you so much for telling me more about your time here in Richmond the last 18 years. Let's talk about your business. I know you have a 3-location personal fitness studio. So tell us a little bit about what motivated the start of that and how's it been going? How long have you been in business?
Yeah. So started in 2014. So been in business now a little over 12 years, working on 12 and a half, something like that.
Congrats, by the way.
Thank you.
It's a couple of milestones there.
It's been quite the journey. I mean, I remember the 2-year mark of just like throwing my hands in the air because I had broken the candle in several places and found new places to burn it and was like, how am I going to pay the rent? That was year 2. And just sticking with it, like I hear other stories of entrepreneurs that, that hit that mark. And it's like, if you can just get through that, it's huge. It's huge. I love the dynamic of problem solving within business, but, yeah, so it is a segue from the running. I was training for my first marathon with sports backers and going through a transition. My partner and I at the time, like we had ran multiple businesses together. So I was like always in that like entrepreneurial mindset of like, what can I do? What can I create? That kind of thing. Like even back from like high school, I was like working at a restaurant and I was like a hostess, and I thought that it would be the coolest thing to have a restaurant down on Cary Street and live above it one day. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of glad I didn't do that because I don't think that would make like the best living situation. But anyway, so I had gotten into working with sports backers and or doing the marathon training team, and was really just racking my brain that summer. This was 2012, and saying like, okay, well, what do I want to do? What's something that I can get passionate about? Because like previously I was like working in a desk, and I was finding that like as I was running, I would leave midday for, a run, leave downtown in the city, run around, come back, just kind of like sweaty. But I wasn't around people. Like I was just doing admin work and sales and that kind of stuff. And I was just like, this is not doing it for me. And so I knew I wanted to work with people. I knew I wanted to make a difference. So I was thinking more towards like a service-based something. And with marathon training team, we would have these long runs on the weekends. And I like to bake. It is one of the things. So that also feeds into another reason why I like to run, because I do like to indulge in the things that I bake.
Mm-hmm.
So, I was making new bakes and chocolate chip cookies and zucchini bread, just like all kinds of different stuff. Because like when you run 20 miles, you're burning, let's call it 2,000 calories, and you're hungry afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
So I was really excited about that. I was like, this brings people joy, like good treats. So I thought to myself, like, okay, could I start a bakery? That'd be fun. I like mornings. I could get behind that. But then as I kind of really put it together, I was like, not everybody is training for a marathon. So I don't want to make people fat.
Yeah.
Like literally that was the thought. And then I thought to myself, okay, well, like what about a healthy bakery? And again, like I'm in my mid-20s, and our household, we were not shopping at Elwood Thompson's or Whole Foods or whatnot. Like I didn't put the pen to paper on all the numbers, but I didn't see the margin in it. I was like, I just really don't feel like that's going to be there, intuitive, just thinking about it. But I was cross training one day. I was riding my bike down. It was Patterson Avenue. And I was putting two and two together on like, wow, like, people will come out for these long runs, and like they can complain about their dog, their spouse, their job, their whatever. And then at like the end of this long run, 16, 18, 20 miles, feel amazing. Be it that they got it off their chest, be it that they're in community with other people, be it that they're expending the energy in a positive way, like all of that kind of stuff combined. I was like, huh, this is a lot more than just about the physical. And that's something that I can get behind. Like I could be a person, I could be a coach. I could start a fitness studio. I could start a chain of fitness studios, because my thought has always been like, I knew I can help so many people alone, right? But me plus others, we can help so many more. And so I look to continue growing that opportunity, which is why like one studio and me as a solopreneur in 2014, whenever I got the opportunity to open it, became two in 2020. It took me a little bit of time to figure some things out. Became three in 2025. So to continue like seeing that growth and that effort, both that myself and now my team of trainers is putting forth and helping the community with, like, it's really cool. And like, we're excited, and it's like only getting better. So.
Well, I think that there's so much that I could talk to you about, and we won't have enough time, but this intersection of entrepreneurialism and fitness, as I have been an entrepreneur for 20 plus years myself, you consume a lot of media from other entrepreneurs because it's lonely at the top. You don't have a lot of folks to talk to about what's going on. Fortunately, I've built a good network and I have those people, but listening to podcasts and listening to, really successful people, they all have a fitness routine. They're not all in great shape, but they have that outlet. And I went from being somebody who would go, a couple times a week or once a week to, not going every day. And there's the part of the reason why I do it is because I don't think about it anymore. It's habit, and I just get up and I go. But also I feel like I can control my life in more meaningful ways. Like where without that, I feel like things are falling apart and things, or like I just don't have the kind of control. But whenever I can leave a physically strenuous activity and feel proud of the accomplishment, and then see the difference on my body. Like I have a joke at the gym, like after a tough workout, I'm like, I'm going to check for abs later.
That's awesome.
I've been checking for 2.5 years now, so maybe another 6 months, we'll see.
Keep coming back.
Yeah. They say abs are made in the winter, so I just have to work harder in the winter. But what I want to ask you about is, as a personal trainer, you have the opportunity to work one-on-one with people. So you get to see the physical transformation, but you get to hear the emotional transformation, the professional transformation, and all the other ways that people transform. What's that like for you as a coach? And tell me a little bit. I mean, I'm saying that this is my experience, but across the range of people you work with, what's that like?
Yeah, it's incredible. Like it is what I was searching for whenever I said like I wanted to work with people and I wanted to make a difference kind of thing. So that's really great to like kind of make that confirmation there, connect those dots. I don't see it as much as I did whenever I was solopreneur and working directly with the clients. Like now I'm one person removed, right?
Yeah.
I'm not delivering
You don't
the
have
service.
anybody that demands that you train them anymore.
Right. Correct.
Good.
Well, and if they ask very nicely, I still have to say no.
That's great.
Because boundaries.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I love getting the opportunity to like be close enough that I am a part of that, and I get the story, and not only like the story, right, with the details, but the emotion with it of like, wow, I feel so much better. Like just various different things, like I can get down on the ground with my grandkid now and couldn't before. Like that was really bugging me. Or I hated that, when I was doing my weekend warrior stuff, cleaning out the car was getting me sore, heading into the week. And now it doesn't. Now I'm going on hikes with my loved one and our family and everything. And that's awesome. So it definitely does bleed over into other areas of life. Is like that sense of, it's a self-empowerment. There's also some kind of like confirmation of integrity of saying like, I'm going to do this. And other people may or may not know that I said that I'm going to do this, but I'm going to do this anyway. I'm going to follow through. And then I did follow through. And now I feel like a champ kind of thing.
So you have 3 locations now. Can you tell our listeners where those are? And, what's it like to be a client there? What's it like to work out with your trainers?
Yeah. So our locations are our original one, I'll call it our OG, is in the Fan. It's on North Robinson Street, 8 North Robinson. It's a bright orange building. You can't miss it if you're driving on Robinson. And number 2 is in Hanover County. It's in the Atlee area, right off of the Atlee exit off of 95. So it's King's Charter, Sliding Hill, like that area.
What caused you to open up that way?
I had the opportunity to do some group classes to test the area. So I had it on my radar in the beginning of 2020, pre-COVID, to start location number 2. And I started some small group classes just to test the market up there. My friend, my partner at the time, had a business up there who said, there's nobody doing anything there at 6 a.m. Why don't you try and do that? Which was not what I wanted to do at Oh Dark Nothing in January. But I did, and it was really cool. We got a good response. And then COVID hit. And we tried to do some stuff online with the small group stuff there. And it just kind of like petered out. And I said, well, I guess we're just going to have to wait. 2020 is not the year for location number 2. But as time went on, the uniqueness of our spaces, of our studio spaces, is that we're not classified as a gym. So we are completely one-on-one. We're about the size of a large living room. And it's perfect for that like trainer plus client experience. And it was also really perfect that like we were not forced to close during COVID. Mm-hmm. So we were still able to be a space for people to go. And we had very serious conversations with like each of our clients to say like, hey, like what's your exposure to people that are more inclined to be immunocompromised and all of that kind of stuff. And if they had 0, and wanted to come in, then we were able to be that outlet. And so like as time went on 2020, it was like, oh, well, actually, well, let's check the market to see for a place to rent up there. And lo and behold, August of that year, our Hanover location was born.
Wow.
So that's number 2, and that's a little bit about like the experience of our spaces. And then number 3 is in Midlothian, off of Route 60, Midlothian Turnpike. We are in a shopping center that is marked by a big red barn. A lot of people in the area down there know that. And so it's right next to Midlothian Middle, that kind of thing.
I used to record my episodes down at the ESPN station down there. So
cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's private, it's one-on-one, it's completely catered to what the client is looking for. We are functional fitness focused, so we're not going to be the place where someone comes to say like, I want to train for the bikini competition. But if they want to learn how to lift, in a functional space, learn how good form looks and feels and how to pair workouts together and how to work towards goals that they have, to like get themselves that education that can take them forward. We're definitely the place for that. So we co-create the plans with them to figure out, okay, what do you want to do? Where do you want to go? Where are you at today? And then also, what are you interested in? Because we're really interested in sustainability. Like how can your new fitness habits take you into years into the future? Like what's your 80-year-old self look like? Are you keeping good posture, or are you going to be kind of slumped over and all of that kind of stuff? Like how mobile do you want to be for so long? For how long?
Well, that's what we do with our financial advisors. So why not do it for our bodies too?
Makes sense.
Well, I need to take one more break, and we're going to come back and we'll talk a little bit more about the future of this region. And I'm excited to hear what you think.
Sounds good.
So you've probably figured out by now that Richmond Water is on West Broad Street. But where the heck else is it?
You can find us online. We're at drinkrichmondwater.com, and there's lots of ways to engage with our website here, but if you come all the way down the bottom, that's where you will find the map of free refill stations across the city. Just open this Google map that we have here that you can submit to at any time, and you'll find these pink dots are the Richmond Water refill stations, of course, Broad Street, and then over at City Stadium. And then all of the little blue dots are other places that have water refill stations where you can get free water across Richmond City. Join us in making free water more accessible on drinkrichmondwater.com.
Welcome back to America's Healthiest City on Channel RVA. I'm your host, Will Melton, and I have Aubrey Eicher here from The Well Personal Fitness. We're having a great conversation about her business and what caused her to move to Richmond and be integrated in this community for 18 years. And this show is all about community health. It's about how we can show up individually. It's about how we can show up for our community and work alongside others who are looking to make this community a healthier place. And so check out americashealthiestcity.com if you're new to this, learn about what we're doing, and see how you can get involved. I'd love to have you on the show if you have a story to tell, and lots of other ways to get involved as well. Aubrey, I want to close out by thinking a little bit about the future of our region. If we're working for 2033 to be the healthiest region, we've got some time ahead of us to make it happen. One of the things that I thought about when I started this, or at least what I acknowledged, is that there was a contingent of people who didn't think that we could do it. And it's not just health, it could be anything. We just can't do it for whatever reason. We haven't been able to do it. It's a belief system that I aim to create. What do you believe about the future of our region, and what do you think it's going to take to actually help us to achieve what might have seemed impossible a few years ago?
Yeah. Well, the first thing that comes to mind is the belief that a lot of people believed that the sub 5-minute mile was not feasible by humans. And now like kids on track, are hitting sub 4:30s for a mile. So I'm a really big believer in looking at belief systems and saying like, okay, let's turn that on its head and say like, why? Why not? Why not Richmond? Why not now, right? Why not be working towards that 2033? Absolutely. So I think that it's just getting enough people on board. I mean, there's so many ways that I think of as I've come up in the fitness and wellness industry in Richmond, like I was talking about holistic fitness in 2014 and had to figure out how to explain what I thought or what I meant and all of that kind of stuff. It was very nebulous. And then, by the time 2019 that I was like rebranding, there were other places popping up that were on board with the holistic wellness, fitness, like all of that kind of stuff concept. So the thought process is growing for sure. And why not Richmond? We have such an awesome area here, like between, like, I would say whenever I look at Richmond, like our climate, our mixture of nature plus city is huge. Like it's gorgeous here. We have the river, we have the parks, we have so much like advocacy for all of that kind of stuff. Adding more healthy food options, et cetera, et cetera. Like how many festivals do we have per year? I just think that there's so much opportunity for it. I say, why not?
Yeah. Well, that's, I feel like the river is never void in our conversations on this show. It is the staple. And if we didn't have it, have you ever been to Greenville, South Carolina?
I have.
So Greenville has a river that runs through it. But when I was there on the inner city visit a couple of years ago, or last year rather, they told us that the river wasn't always there. It was actually buried underneath a highway and nobody knew it was there. Like literally people couldn't see it, didn't know it existed. It was like a creek. It was a dribble. And they ended up, the mayor basically, against a lot of people's wishes, just pushed and pushed and pushed and got through. But it's completely changed that community. I can't imagine Richmond without a river.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. And have you ever done a Ragnar?
I have not.
Okay.
It's on my list.
I know that they run that.
Do you know some people that want to do one?
I know some people. Well, I know some people who love to run Ragnars. So,
okay.
I've never done it either, but I'm also not a super competitive person. I just like to be in good shape. One of these days I'll get out and get some running in, but I think it doesn't matter how people get their fitness in. Go for a walk on the Capitol Trail or the segments of the Fall Line Trail. There's so many ways. Well, one of the things that I want to make sure that I do, and everybody who comes on the show, we ask who's somebody else who's out there making a difference, who we should be bringing in here and having a conversation with. And you don't have to put you on the spot there maybe a little bit. But
yeah. Oh, gosh. I really think so there is a group that I just joined of health and wellness practitioners called Synergy. And the founder of that started MetaFit RX.
Oh,
David Ambrose. Yeah. Have you had him on?
He said he's been on twice now. Actually, you know what? Here, this is really good. I'm so glad that you said this because we'll call David out. He asked me what I was doing for my personal fitness. So I've done the DEXA scan. I haven't done the VO2 max yet, but I did the DEXA scan, and he's like, "You're good." And I was like, "Oh man, that's dangerous because I'm now not going to do anything." but I also recognize the risk in that, so I ended up hitting the gym. But he's the reason why I go to the gym every day.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, we'll bring him back on the show. Bring him back on the show. I know they just opened up a Charlottesville location, so they're kicking.
Mm-hmm.
They're kicking.
Yeah. We were both doing like congratulations to each other. I remember meeting up with him. It was before COVID. Goodness. So like just thinking back to 2019. So I was still only at one location, and now to have 3, and he's got 2, and so it's cool to see different fitness, wellness entrepreneurs doing things in the community. And
it's
growing.
A business on the rise.
Yeah.
I don't know the numbers for this. Maybe you do, but this has got to be a burgeoning industry.
Yeah.
We all watch Alex Hormozi and what is that? Acquisition.com and the rise of that business. That's a fantastic story, but people are interested.
I haven't looked at the story.
You haven't looked at it?
I've looked at the website.
Okay.
Right. I grabbed the ad one day and I was like, oh, what's he doing now? So found it interesting, but haven't done the full rabbit trail poking around.
Go listen to the podcast Diary of a CEO with him. That's a good one. That's probably 2 or 3 hours, I would imagine, but it'll be everything you need to know about Alex Hormozi and his awesome growth. Well,
cool.
I know. So you have an open house coming up that folks can come to learn more about what you're doing. Tell us about when that is and where they can go to find out more.
Yeah, so we're doing our kind of like rhythm this year has been now with having 3 locations. We're doing an open house at one of our 3 locations each month.
Okay.
And so the one for July is going to be July 19th from 1 to 3 p.m. That's a Sunday afternoon. And that's going to be at our Midlothian location. So our cycle is like Midlothian and then Hanover and then the Fan and then Midlothian, Hanover, Fan. Like that's been our cycle now. But all the information can be found on our website. Connect with us on socials and all that good stuff.
So if you really need to wait until July to find out more, they can do that. But but they don't have to wait until July. How do folks connect with you, and how do they plug in to your program?
Yeah, so the website is thewellpf.com. And our main ask is like, hey, submit for an exploratory session. If you're interested in having a conversation, it's a short form of like, your contact information, but then also like, what are your goals? What have you been doing? What's worked in the past? What hasn't? Give us a little bit of information about you, but then like, let's have a phone conversation and go from there. Our website has all kinds of information and materials and that kind of stuff. It's built for that. So I'd say, check that out and reach out to us that way.
And I saw on your site you have some video content. You're active on socials, I imagine.
Yep. Quite a bit.
What are your handles for
I
that?
do that one. So our handles are The Well Personal Fitness. Okay. So that's for Instagram, Facebook, and then for X is The Well PF.
Okay, great. Well, Aubrey, thanks for joining me on America's Healthiest City. I love what you're doing.
Love what you guys are doing.
I'm going to have to check out one of these run clubs one of these days. Maybe just once.
Yeah.
What's the name of the club that you're a part of?
Sports Backers. So I'm doing marathon training team.
Okay. So not a run club anymore, just straight up marathon training.
Straight up marathon training team. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
But there's so many around Richmond. So it all depends on what flavor you want. We can talk more about it.
Yeah. Well, when you open up your 4th location, come back and talk about it.
That sounds good.
I love what you're doing, and we'll get David Ambrose back on too. We can have 2 bald guys together and you have a good conversation.
I can see that.
All right, folks, thanks so much for listening to America's Healthiest City on Channel RVA. We're going to catch you next time, but until then, please visit americashealthiestcity.com and learn about what we're doing, and go over to channelrva.com to subscribe to all the things that we're doing on that program. Is more than I have time to talk about. channelrva.com. We're signing off. See you next time.